And we move to the most contentious issue of the weekend, and it always surrounds the bump. Or was this one, in fact, simply a collision? It's been a moving feast. The AFL have gone twice now with statements suggesting what is going to happen over the next 28 to 48 hours. Tom Morris has been on the job. Welcome to you, Tom. And how has it unfolded from start to finish?
Yeah, let's start what happened most recently. So the AFL is fully aware of the magnitude of this case, and that is why they sought to clarify it this afternoon. But let's go back to the start. So Saturday, the incident happened. Hunter Clark was bumped heavily, or was in a collision heavily with David Mackay. He broke his jaw. 6 to 8 weeks he'll miss Hunter Clark, which is a significant injury. But then on Sunday, the AFL released a statement in which they sent this incident to the tribunal. It was ungraded, and the reason it was ungraded is because, in their opinion, it didn't come under the banner of rough conduct. In fact, it was so significant and so unusual, it didn't come under any banner that is in their legislation. So they sent it to the tribunal, and then today they released this statement here. This AFL statement came about an hour and a half ago, and it said the AFL will argue, regardless of whether Mackay was contesting the ball, bumping Clark, or both, he still contravened the general prohibition on unreasonable conduct, including contesting the ball. So to put it simply, the AFL believes this case is so unusual and so significant that it couldn't fit it in the matrix that it ordinarily uses. This is the incident here. This case will be heard on Thursday night, so we still have a few more days to talk about it, but it's caused lots of debate. Did he bump? Does it matter that he bumped? And did he not show enough or a duty of care to Hunter Clark? These are all the questions that will be answered, hopefully, on Thursday night at the tribunal.
Yes, it's been quite interesting the way the AFL, I think, have responded to much of the negative publicity and discussion over the weekend. Gentlemen, I heard you earlier in the piece, and I'd like to explore your thoughts with you. Simply, Nick, do you owe your opposition player a duty of care when you are attempting to win the ball? Because quite clearly the rules don't say that you do.
Well, I think there are two issues here for me with this bump case. One is whether you think it's a fair bump or not, or whether he was contesting the ball or not.
Or if it was a bump.
Or if it was a bump. So there's that. But then there's also the issue of the way the AFL have handled this. And so I'm not sure if we've still got Tom there. So Tom said the AFL are aware of the magnitude of this case. So they're aware of the magnitude, but they're happy to hand it over to 3 part-time tribunal members to determine the future fabric of the game. So I don't understand how you can say on one hand that the incident doesn't come under the banner of rough conduct. Then in the AFL's own statement, which was released today, they've said that the Tribunal Council, as instructed by the AFL, will allege that player Mackay carelessly engaged in rough conduct.
So there's the banner.
So if he carelessly engaged in rough conduct, that was severe and high. So you've graded it in your own statement.
Retrospective grading.
Yet you've said it doesn't come under the banner of rough conduct. So I'm at a complete loss to understand how they could possibly abdicate responsibility on this and hand it over to the tribunal to make a call.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear where all collision sport is going, and I think everyone is going to support that. But in this particular case, I don't think you can suspend a bloke on a rule that isn't written yet. And I think you'll get off anyway. And I'll show you some vision, I think, which will clarify the matter. And we'll have a look at it now. You look at here, he's got hands for the ball. Both players are in exactly the same position, both looking at the ball, one probably a half metre away. Finally, David Mackay, I think, realises he's not going to get the ball. He turns to protect himself, which leads us to the question down the track, not now, down the track. Are you able to protect yourself in attempting to win the ball?
And they've conceded, have they not? I might be wrong. The AFL conceded that he was attempting to win the ball.
They have.
Right. Well, therein lies the problem. And I saw both. We see it every second week.
Yeah.
These two went running with the flight of the ball to mark the ball in what I would describe as the most violent manner that I've seen. Now, these are other examples. But I'm talking about them launching themselves for a mark in a violent manner, running with a flight that could do so much damage.
So what you're saying is if he goes, you're opening Pandora's box.
Well,
in winning the ball, whether it's in the air or on the ground,
correct, Jared.
What duty of care do you owe your opposition player?
If you're focused on the ball, we say play 8. Don't play the man, play the ball. And now we're saying don't play the ball. You can play the ball, but not too violently.
So the AFL, as per their statement, they will argue that regardless of whether Mackay was, 1, contesting the ball, or 2, bumping the player, or both, he's still contravened the general prohibition of unreasonable contact.
What's unreasonable contact if you're contesting the ball in a 50-50 manner?
Well, he broke the bloke's jaw, that's what they're saying. That's what they're contending. But you make a good point about if you're going back to do a football action with your eyes on the football,
where are we going to
and
get to?
accidents happen, we're virtually saying that is an accident.
Both of your two attack on the ball in that marking contest was unreasonable by any measure.